Hi, my name is Alan Watts from Anything Grows, a store for gardeners in Stratford, Ontario. On behalf of expertvillage.com, I would like to speak to you about tips for new gardeners and specifically getting to know your garden or your yard. And what I mean by that is if you've moved into a new house, it's a different situation in that you have a new landscape that you're unfamiliar with, and how do you best get to know it? I think one way is to not rush into a plan for a new garden until you do know it, and that probably means waiting a year or possibly a year. You don't know what's going to come up in the spring, what's going to come up in the fall. You don't know sunny areas, shady areas that well. So it's sort of an education process to be able to become more familiar with your space. Once you're more familiar with your space, then you know what sort of opportunities might present themselves with that information. So if you have a particularly wet area or a shady area, then you may design to use that space for a particular reason because of those conditions. So it's a good way to look at everything a bit more practically, and as I said, to not jump into anything too quickly. And if it's a house where you're currently living and you already have some of that information, then you're way ahead of a situation where you've actually just moved into a new property. If you already know the property, you probably could jot down then a lot of that information just from your experience there and be prepared to move ahead on planning a garden design or planning how you want to use the space much more easily. In either case, it's good to know it first and then to write it down.